Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Elite Wellness Podcast. It's Adrian Cuellar here, and today with me I have another special guest, Anthony Zamorano.
Hello, everybody.
Alright, guys, so a little bit about Anthony. I've known him for a little over 2 years now, would you say, right? A little bit about Anthony. He went to Sanger Academy. He's currently attending Sanger High School, and he's going to graduate this year. We were teammates for a brief period of time in 10th grade year, in his 10th grade year and my senior year. And Anthony is actually one of the most hardworking and self-disciplined people I know. It's hard to be self-disciplined enough, but at his age, it's even harder because people like to mess around, especially during their teenage years. But yeah, that's a little bit about Anthony, and I'll let him talk a little bit more about himself so that you guys could get to know him a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you. Like you said, we met around my sophomore year and he was senior year. I originally joined track to become fit, wanting to be cool, I guess, fit in. I was like, but I joined the team and, I got to meet people like Adrian, and they helped me realize, just I didn't have to be like that. And also, it was just fun, doing all the track team sports, just everything, working with people, also an individual sport. Besides that, my years at Sanger Academy, it's kind of like a small area, such a small hold that I didn't really get to branch out to many new people, so high school was kind of hard transitioning into. And that's even something that, high school people tell you for being a part of such a small group for a while. It's like, you don't know how to communicate with others. But, when you start branching out, doing your own thing, it's easier. And then I'm very excited to graduate this year. I feel like there's a lot more opportunity outside of that. I feel like I've been kind of held by the limitations of high school right now, and I'm still learning. I still got a lot to do, but with people like Adrian and other friends, it's just you can branch out a lot more. It's easier to grow, and I just hope to keep growing.
Yeah. So starting off, the first question I have for you is, when exactly did you start to get self-discipline?
I'd say during COVID. The biggest transition for everybody, the hardest transition, I think. My freshman year, I was still in the kind of middle school mentality. It's like, because I was barely transitioning, and especially when COVID hit, we were supposed to leave, it was only 2 weeks. But, we were locked up for a year, so having to grow alone was a lot harder. It put me in a place where I'm pretty sure everybody could relate, that it's isolating, it's lonely, it's tiring. The school is canceled too, no work, it's just stay at home, wake up every day, sleep, eat, And I hated that, I hated feeling lazy at a certain point because, I'm pretty sure you understand having a family that wants to see you grow and push you and support you.
Yeah.
They didn't like seeing me like that, so I picked up a hobby, fitness, and not just lifting at this point, but I was running, I was swimming, I was doing a whole bunch of physical activity. I'd say around sophomore year, started junior year, when I joined the track team. That's when I saw what real disciplined people do. They go to practice every day. They ignore the parties that you're gonna or be offered to, or all the negative influences. It's okay to have fun, but consistently prioritizing that over your goals is not okay. Meeting people like Adrian and a few of your other friends, I believe Jess, and all of them. It's just I saw what they were doing. They were going to practice every day, busting their asses out, but just working hard. And I wanted to be like that. I continue to use that type of mentality with the people I've been surrounded by to keep pushing myself forward.
You push yourself, but in a different aspect. Like you said, you mentioned us, like we show up, we go to practice, because our passions are like running or soccer or stuff like that, but your passion is, going to the gym. You obviously self-discipline yourself going to the gym, right? Because you like to see those results, right? Is the gym the only thing you self-discipline yourself for, or do you discipline yourself for other things in life?
Originally, the gym was the main thing. I, self-disciplined myself for because I wanted to be a bodybuilder. If you look at some of the classics like Mike Menzer, Arnold, Tom Platz, all of them, I wanted to look like that. But then I realized that most of their priorities in life weren't just working out. It was growing their education, their communication circles, how well they got to know people, so that they could grow. So I wanted to expand my knowledge. So I believe the discipline that helped me grow in the gym helped me grow in my academics. I saw a big increase in my my grade point averages. It's like I got scholarships. I'm very happy about that. And I would say compared to my freshman year to now, it's like my discipline was way different. I had no discipline back then. I was always relying on motivation. And now, it's like when you wake up in the morning, you don't have motivation, honestly. You don't want to get up, but it's about doing the hard things now so you can live a comfortable life later.
That's a very important thing that you touched on. Going back to staying disciplined, how exactly do you stay consistent?
I'm gonna be honest. Like you said, it's the results. I
Yeah.
believe the biggest obsession I have with staying consistent is the results I love to see.
Mhm.
It's like, any of this that we do, it's not gonna happen overnight. It takes months, years, and so I realized that if I wanted to stay consistent and grow, I had to keep going and showing up, even on the days I hated it.
Yeah.
And the thing that motivates me every day is just I want to see those results. I want to be able to live a comfortable life in the future and say that I'm doing something good for myself, that I did grow. It's like I started this journey about 2 years ago now, and if I gave up, it would completely disregard anything I've done in the past.
Mhm.
Another motivation I believe that it should be for everyone, and if not, it's hard, but it's family. Because they want to see you grow majority of the time. They want to see you prosper and achieve your full potential. Just like everybody, you want to see that at some point too. You don't want to be lazy, but you give yourself that excuse. And once you give yourself those excuses, it's hard to grow. Just keep working hard and ignore those thoughts that say I could get that extra hour of sleep, or it's like I don't have to show up today, or that test doesn't matter, I could skip. Today I have to go to work. It's like, no, you got to show up, because there's always going to be someone out there who's competing better against you. Your biggest competitor is yourself, but forget that other people are also trying to achieve the same goal. And those spots in life are limited, so you gotta move harder and try harder to get that spot earlier.
Just how Anthony mentioned earlier, the results, you won't see them overnight. You have to stay consistent. You have to stay self-discipline, right? And that goes for every aspect. If you want to become the fastest runner, you have to train for it. If you want to become the best bodybuilder, you got to train for it. Just anything. If you want to become the best lawyer, you got to study for it. That's something that most people don't understand. They tend to get caught up in themselves, right? Once they don't see results overnight, they're like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. What's the whole point of this? Well, guys, the point of this is that you're going to eventually see those results, but you just got to continue to work hard for those results, right? How long did it take you to get to where you are now?
2.5 years. Around the time I started seeing results was around 6 to 7 months. I was average, pretty skinny, lean build. It's like, and I liked being lean, but at the same time, I wanted to be bigger. So, around the first time I started seeing, growth at aesthetic results, 6 months. And it was hard, those first 6, not seeing anything. It's like, I'm not achieving nothing. But when you keep going, you'll definitely start growing. You'll appreciate that you never stopped. So.
2.5 years, guys. 2.5 years. And sometimes it may take more, and sometimes it may take a little less, but remember, it's not going to happen overnight. That's the number one thing that you guys have to remember. Success will not happen overnight. Success is going to be rented every single day. You guys just have to really remember that, because people don't really get that, and sometimes you don't get that motivation from others, but it doesn't matter. You have to be able to motivate yourself and compete against yourself, like Anthony was saying earlier, because your biggest competitor in life is yourself and will always be yourself. So you have to compete against the person in the mirror. Not everyone will be there for you when you most need them. What exactly do you do in order to keep yourself disciplined? Is there any routine that you do, or what's your daily
motivation?
Yeah.
I would say the people you surround yourself with. I have very I would say consistently around 3 to 4 inspiring people, but at the same time, my biggest competitors, 2 of them, or 3 of them actually, are some of my fellow, gym friends. They are around the same strength as me, the same build, the same mindsets, especially. The mindsets I feel like are what had drawn me to them, because I won't be going as hard as I can. I won't be doing as much as I know I should be. They'll motivate me. They'll tell me that, hey, you could be doing more, or you had that last rep, or hey, why didn't you show up to school yesterday? It's like, I was lazy. And they get on my case, because they say, you have to keep showing up. It's like, you don't give yourself that excuse, because once you start feeling like you can get comfortable with that, I feel like that's when the downfall starts. And if you keep giving yourself that out, it's like you're never really gonna keep growing. And the motivation that people look for, or that they feel like they need, aside from discipline, I'd say that people you surround yourself with. Yes, it's okay to have friends that do fun things that you want to do. But I'd say what you should prioritize in those friends is, what are they doing to help themselves, There's a phrase I learned from my dad is, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. And basically what I kind of got from that is, you are who you surround yourself with. If your friends aren't pushing you, then you're not going to be pushing yourself. I definitely say the motivation you need is the people you surround yourself with, friends, family. And you gotta know the difference between who's gonna help you and who's just gonna hold you back. And that's the hard truth.
Yeah, exactly. And you know that, like you said, it is the hard truth because sometimes, you know, you have to cut certain people off in your life because they're bringing you down. You want people that are gonna push you, that are gonna bring you up when you're down, not just when you're down, they put you even more down, you know. Would you say that it was hard cutting people off, like along the way?
Definitely. I'd say, you know, I valued some friendships.
Mhm.
Losing them was painful at first, even some other, you know, friendships, relationships, whatever you want to say. It gets hard, you know, because you want to be a part of those people's lives because you grow up with them or, you know, you have similar interests, and that's okay. Necessarily, you don't have to cut them off. That's usually not the case. It's that they see you prioritizing something that is yourself and is considered narcissistic, egotistical, or, you know, just self-obsessive. And it's not that you're any of those things. You can have a big ego and still be a good person. It's the fact that you just know that you have so much more potential in yourself, that you want to see yourself grow, that you don't go to those parties, you don't drink that bottle of beer, or, you know, just any case of negative influence. It's okay to have fun, that's fine, but it's what's not okay is just to consistently make that your lifestyle. And I believe people want to say you're a teenager, you should be living those teenage years of fun, and that's, yeah, do that, but in moderation. You know, if you're consistently just giving yourself that excuse like I'm a teenager, or, you know, or I'm still an adult, but in my prime I should be able to have these years of fun. Yes, but again, you have to work hard if you want to be able to do those fun things, make your life easier in the future, and achieve, you know, the money that you always want. You see, you know, TikTok influencers, YouTube influencers, they made those hard sacrifices in the beginning. They upload, you know, 3 times a day, and they got, you know, little views, but they kept doing it to grow. And I'm sure, you know, that's exactly how this is going to be. You're going to grow your audience, and it's the fact that you keep doing this every week, every day. It is going to grow because you are showing up. You got to show up. That's the biggest thing. Hopefully your friends are going to support you.
You could have fun. It's fine, but like Anthony said, you can't make that a consistent lifestyle, you know, because you're just gonna get caught in that trap. Like, oh no, like I'm a teenager, I could have fun, I could drink, I could do whatever. You could enjoy life, but don't confuse the bad fun from the good fun. You know, there's bad fun where like people are like, oh, I'm having fun, I'm doing drugs, stuff like that. That's not cool. That's not fun. And then there's the good fun where you have fun with those friends that support you, your family that supports you, you know, those people that have a good influence on you. You know, that's the type of fun that you want to have in your life, that you want to continue to see throughout your career, throughout, you know, and that's going to really help you achieve success in the future because you're surrounding yourself with that positive attitude, those positive mindset of other people, so, you know, it's always going to bring you up.
Yeah.
So the last question before we wrap it up is, what advice would you give to those that are struggling to self-discipline themselves? Because obviously you've done really well at it, and we're both still trying to get self-discipline ourselves. You know, we're still growing. Would you say that you're still growing?
Definitely, man. I hope I keep growing for years to come.
Mhm.
If my growing stopped right now, that
Exactly.
peaked in high school, and
Yeah.
I don't like that. So.
Yeah, you want to continue to grow your self-discipline. So what advice would you give to those who struggle with that?
I have like 3 key mindset. It's your intensity, your consistency, and it's okay. And this one is going to sound a little confusing to people, but it's okay to fail. It's okay to achieve failure, because basically you can't know what winning feels like if you don't ever lose. There's a big key phrase in the, you know, lifting, bodybuilder, power builder community, is that you have to achieve failure. And basically what that means is you put everything you got until you basically have nothing left into what you're doing in that situation. And then you let yourself rest, and you keep going, you keep growing, and you keep achieving that failure mark until eventually you hit that successful mark. And I feel like, you know, that's the biggest help of, you know, advice I've ever learned, because I thought failing was bad, you know. I thought if I kept failing, you know, it meant that I wasn't doing something right. But that means you are doing something right.
Yeah.
And you're just helping yourself grow. And it's okay to fail, but learn from what you're doing when you're failing. And then as for consistency and intensity, anything you do, you should be giving, you know, at least more than 80% of your effort, 90%. And if you can, and if you always have to, give that 100%. That's even better, because you'll go even farther. But I believe, you know, your intensity matters in everything. You know, whether it's schoolwork, whether it's, you know, if you want to be a chef, or, you know, business, Bitcoin, or lifting, any of that, give your 100%. And as for consistency, show up every day. Why not? Have a rest day, yes, of course. Have 2 rest days. But your consistency, you should at least be spending an hour to 2 hours on what you are trying to grow on, your hobby. If you're trying to read, if you're trying to work out, run, start your business, spend 2 hours a day learning about that subject. And once you start doing that, it's gonna grow. It is. It's gonna take time. That time can take, from a year to 5 years. But eventually you'll start seeing progress, you'll start growing. And it's just about the community that you reach out to and you target. Make sure that you are setting yourself up for a good future. And I feel like once you can distinguish between the two and ignore hypocrisy and discrimination, you'll get far. You'll keep pushing. I'm still young, so I'm still learning. We're both still young.
Yeah, we're both still young, we're both still learning, and some great advice that you just gave. Just like Anthony said, failure is okay. It's okay, but you have to learn from those mistakes, because if you don't, you just give up. So that makes you a failure. But what makes you not a failure is when you learn from failing over and over and over again, because all you need is one shot, that one success, and then you're just gonna continue to see that. So thank you so much, guys. That is it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to click the subscribe button and smash that like button, and also turn on those post notifications so you don't miss any of this amazing content. Alright, Anthony, do you have anything left to say?
Just keep working hard. That's all I can say. Simple phrase, but that's all it is.
Simple, but it goes a long way. Alright guys, it was Adrian Cuellar
And Anthony Zamorano
from the Elite Wellness Podcast, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.